So I guess it's that time of the week again where I give my thoughts on the latest Bad Batch episode, and you'll notice that I'm sat in a bit of a different position to normal. That is because, wait for it, I'm planning to get this thing on my wall here, and I want it in the background. So we're trying this out for now, so then when I get it on the wall and it's there, you'll be able to see it. I mean, maybe I can try a different position where I get like everything in the back, but I'm just seeing if this is any better, because obviously it would be directly behind me if I were to sit here, so I thought I'd give it a go. But anyway, let's give my thoughts on the Bad Batch episode. I've actually forgotten, let me just get that. Episode 10, there we go, I just found out. So these are my thoughts on Bad Batch episode 10, let's go. If I'm being honest, I was disappointed. Now, it wasn't bad, but it was more of the episodes we were getting closer to the start of the season. Like, we got episode 1, which was fantastic, up here, and then I felt like the episodes were going down, down, and down until we got the Moochie episode, and after that, Martez Sisters, and I think it was going back up, with all the Cad Bane stuff on Braca, we were going up. And then we got this one, which I think is down at like the Moochie episode level, which isn't bad, and I think it sets up the rest of the season relatively well. I'll talk about why that is in a minute, but in terms of an isolated episode, it was okay at best, to be honest, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. So obviously we were making progress with Omega being part of the squad, and she got sidelined for this episode, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I would rather her like develop more as an official member of the Bad Batch and progress her skills more. But she was left with Sid, and she was very good at the like hologram game thingy, which was good. I enjoyed seeing that. But I would still rather her had gone on the mission. But she did prove herself useful in another way and paid off the debt for the Bad Batch. Now, the fact that she paid off the debt for the Bad Batch is why I think it sets up the rest of the season fantastically, because I think they're going to leave Sid. They no longer have to stay with her, as they have paid off the debt. So this episode was important because it has done that, but that doesn't mean that I like it anymore, because in terms of an isolated episode, like I said, it wasn't fantastic. But yeah, I don't think they're going to work with Sid for too much longer. Now, the fact that Omega was so good at the strategy game just kind of shows how close she is to like a Jango Fett. Like, we got the confirmation that she was basically had an identical genetic structure, or whatever the technical wording was, to Jango, and Jango obviously would be very advanced in his like tactical planning and all the things like that, like strategy games, and he would have a good brain to do stuff like that, is what I'm trying to say. And well, Omega does as well, because she's quite similar to Jango, so it makes sense that she's good at that game. And yeah, in terms of what the Bad Batch were actually doing this episode, I didn't care. I really didn't. It was a very standard go rescue someone and escape like episode that we've seen a bajillion times in Rebels and Clone Wars. Very, very average. That doesn't mean it was bad, it was average. Like, not too much happened. I like that they hijacked the walker, but yeah, really, it was just okay at best. However, the last 5 minutes of the episode I did really enjoy, when the Bad Batch get back to Ord Mantell and talk to Sid and Omega and stuff. We see Wrecker kind of barge his shoulder past Hunter, just kind of showing, like we've seen with Echo before, that they aren't agreeing with what they're doing so much anymore. Echo obviously wasn't a big fan of just like doing deals for Sid and that's it. He still wants to work for the Republic, which we know doesn't exist, so that is impossible. So I think Echo wants to join the rebellion, and I think they will at some point. Now, Wrecker barging past Hunter shows that Echo isn't the only one that kind of disagrees with what they're doing, and that is especially present in this episode, as they helped a separatist. Now, Common Ground is the title of the episode because they both hate the Empire. However, they are still helping a separatist, which is something that they probably weren't too pleased with doing. So I think at some point Hunter is going to give in and actually try and listen to what the other Bad Batch members want to do. Now, he is the leader, but he's kind of just been like, you do what I want to do, I'm not going to listen to what everyone else wants to do for this whole series, which isn't going to work unless they're going to like split up or something, which obviously means it doesn't work because they would leave because they don't agree with what Hunter's doing. So unless Hunter changes, I see bad things for the Bad Batch happening, a potential split up or an argument during a battle when one of them dies or something like that. So Hunter needs to change, and what we saw with him talking to Omega at the end of the episode shows a potential change, because although he had been letting Omega go on the missions, he was still very cautious about her, and this time he did decide to sideline her. But he made a deal, if she beat him in the like strategy game, that she would be able to come on every mission, and I think she's going to beat him, to be honest, because it doesn't really make sense for her to be sidelined in multiple other missions going forward. So I hope she does win, and I think she will. Now, what are my predictions for upcoming episodes? Now, I do think there's going to be a dispute between the Bad Batch, like I said, and the main leader of the dispute will be Echo, and I think that will spark a temporary split up between the team. I think Echo and maybe Wrecker, or I don't know, I just think Echo definitely, and maybe someone else is going to go to Saw Gerrera and join the rebellion, and Hunter is eventually going to do the same, but maybe a few episodes after this. So unless he does change, that is what I think will happen, because Echo ain't having it, and Wrecker was looking a bit annoyed about it too. So I guess that's all for my thoughts on the Bad Batch episode 10. Wasn't a huge fan of the majority of the episode. Loved the ending with Hunter, Omega and the rest of the Bad Batch. Not for reasons like that I normally love something. I loved it because it sets up the rest of the season fantastically. And my predictions are that there is going to be a bit of a rumble within the Bad Batch, and that Omega will beat Hunter in the strategy game. Now, I could be going about this very differently to you guys that are watching. You might have loved this episode, and if you did, that's fantastic, and please let me know if you did. Let me know what you thought about the Bad Batch episode 10, whether you loved it or hated it, or thought it was okay, just like me, just pretty average. But anyway, that's going to be all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for 7,100 subscribers. Please, can we get to 7.5 by the next Bad Batch episode? I think that's doable, and if you are subscribed, please do click the notification bell, because it will mean that you don't miss any videos. And yeah, leave a like. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. In a bit.